On the mountains, Tengen urges the trainees to hasten their pace, pushing them to exceed their limits before sunset. When one trainee lags behind, Tengen pins him down with his shinai and chides him to use his limbs more forcefully, before releasing him. The following day, observing the trainees strenuously completing sit-ups, Tengen emphasizes their need to enhance their stamina and fitness for the upcoming Hashira training. He demonstrates his point by jabbing a trainee with his bamboo blade as he lies exhausted, reminding them that they won't survive Tsunemi's and Misturi's rigorous sessions in their present state. Throughout the exercise program, the participants constantly acknowledge the arduous challenges they face, yet remain determined to excel, despite knowing the upcoming stages with Sanemi and Misturi will be even more demanding. As Tanjiro calls out to Tengen, the former Hashira turns his attention to him. Smiling, Tanjiro bows to Tengen and remarks on his well-being, only to be flicked by the diamond in Tengen's eye patch as a light-hearted response. Tanjiro then thanks Tengen, attributing his survival to his mentorship, before assuring him he will make every effort to succeed during the training. With every physical benchmark, Tanjiro outperforms his fellow demon slayers, leaving them bewildered by his remarkable endurance, strength, and agility. At a lunch break, Tanjiro reunites with Tengen's wives, Suma, Hinatsuru, and Makio. Grateful for their assistance in Yoshiwara, Tanjiro thanks them, to which they respond by expressing their own gratitude. As Tengen demands the trainees eat more, threatening more exercise if they don't finish their food, Makio hands Tanjiro a bowl, and Hinatsuru encourages him to eat more. Later, Tengen's wives remind the trainees to finish their food and repeat his warning of more training if they fail to do so. One trainee asks his fellow trainee if he is assigned to a night patrol that night, suggesting they switch places to avoid morning training. Overhearing their conversation, Tengen inwardly criticizes their attitude towards training. On a night patrol, the demon slayers notice a strange lull in demon activity, one remarking on the remaining uneasiness of the night. The other speculates that the demons are searching for Nezuko, a claim that prompts his partner to question if anyone could confirm it directly from demons. The first demon slayer wishes the demons could disappear, to which his partner responds by noting that demons have been active for 1,000 years. Suddenly, as the first demon slayer has his back turned, his partner vanishes without a trace, leaving him alone in the dark. Panicked, he looks around, his nervousness growing with each passing moment. Behind a corner, his partner jumps out, startling him and causing him to fall over. Angry and frightened, the first demon slayer chastises his partner for playing tricks, asking him not to repeat it. The second demon slayer apologizes as he helps him up. Suddenly, a rustling sound is heard from a dark alley. Assuming his partner is back to his pranks, the first demon slayer urges him to drop it and resume the patrol. The second complies, and together, they prepare to move on. Unaware of it, the sound comes from the eyeball marked 4, crawling on its tendrils behind them as it follows them from the shadows. In the next exercise, trainees are paired up and required to carry each other while running. Despite being partnered with someone significantly larger than himself, Tanjiro runs the fastest, leaving the rest astounded. Tengen demands they give their all, as they struggle to run. Watching on, Tengen is impressed with Tanjiro's persistence as he continues to exercise effortlessly while the other trainees tire themselves out. A trainee approaches Tanjiro and asks about his experience fighting upper-rank demons. Tanjiro candidly describes them as strong, explaining how, despite being quick to knock him down, they relentlessly attacked him the moment he got back up. This revelation leaves the trainees visibly unsettled. As Tanjiro's retelling is about to continue, the trainees ask him to stop, stating that there are worlds beyond their imagination. For the final exercise of the day, Tengen orders them to sprint to a distant mountain and return. Groaning, the trainees start the exercise, with Tengen adding that they will not get dinner if they fail to meet his time limit. While Tanjiro is warming up for the exercise, Tengen's wives approach him, expressing their belief that Tengen is gentle at heart, even if his demeanor is severe. They reveal that the former Hashira didn't eat until all of the trainees returned, even searching the mountains to ensure everyone's safety. Having overheard their conversation, Tengen asserts that he would never crush the demon slayers tasked with by the Ubuyashiki family. As Tanjiro makes his run, Tengen urges him to complete it swiftly. Recalling his eating contest with Giyu, Tanjiro notes that beneath their tough exterior, the Hashira are actually soft-hearted. Despite having eaten 8 trays of soba, Tanjiro requests an additional one, determined to win the contest and persuade Giyu to join Hashira training. Surprisingly, Giyu also orders another helping, leaving Tanjiro shocked as he is struggling to finish his current portion. Giyu rationalizes that he does not need to join training if he wins, causing Tanjiro to become nervous at his own proposition. The chef serves their new servings, and Giyu instructs him to serve Tanjiro another one, noting that it will be his final serving. Tanjiro accepts the bet, recognizing the challenge. He struggles to consume the new soba, finding it increasingly difficult with each bite. In a secluded area, Sanemi waits for the arrival of Obanai before apologizing for the latter's lateness. Despite his tardiness, Sanemi informs Obanai that he himself had only just arrived moments prior. Sanemi then proceeds to ask about the status of Obanai's training, and the serpent Hashira responds by claiming that the demon slayers in training will not be useful in battle against the upper ranks. Sanemi concurs, acknowledging the situation as Kagaya's will. Obanai then inquires about the reason for their meeting, and Sami reveals that he had been contemplating something. This piques Obanai's interest, who assumes it relates to the castle they had witnessed before the demons suddenly vanished. Sanemi mentions that he too had been contemplating the castle's significance, speculating that it may serve as an unknown demon's hideout. However, he reveals that he has investigated the castle multiple times, only to find no answers or clues. Obanai adds that at the same time, demon activity in the surrounding city has decreased, leading Sanemi to believe that the demons are targeting Nezuko. He expresses concern about the situation, expressing his view that something ominous may be lurking ahead, but Sanemi dismisses his apprehension. Obanai reiterates that the act of training the demon slayers serves as a temporary distraction for his concerns, suggesting that the diminished demon activity is a harbinger of trouble for the core. However, Sanemi disregards these fears by asserting his determination to put an end to the current predicament. The scene transitions. Tanjiro finds himself assisting Tengen's wives with household chores in the kitchen. After helping them complete their tasks, Tanjiro is presented with a cup of gyokuro tea as a token of gratitude. Hinatsuru takes the opportunity to express her appreciation for Tanjiro's role in saving them in Yoshiwara, to which Tanjiro denies that he acted alone, attributing his effort to the collective strength of everyone involved. Remarking that Tengen still aims to fight Muzan despite his wounds, Suma adds that he calls out in his sleep, with Makio noting that he blames himself for stepping down as a Hashira. Hinatsuru expresses her hope for Tanjiro to defeat Muzan and bring an end to this situation. Tanjiro assures her that he will strive to do just that. As night descends upon them, Tengen reveals a change in plans, informing the trainees that they will be subjected to a special exercise based on real combat. With great excitement, he orders them to enter the mountain before explaining the rules. In the darkened surroundings, the trainees, armed with bokutos, are tasked with surviving against Tengen, who plays the role of a demon hunting them. Tanjiro, as the strongest among them, has the objective of defeating the former Hashira. The trainees form a circle in the clearing, constantly aware of their surroundings as they attempt to detect Tengen's presence. However, their attempts are in vain as Tengen efficiently incapacitates them one by one, his speed rendering him invisible in the darkness. Despite knowing not to expect anything less from Tengen, Tanjiro finds it difficult to sense him through scent. However, he eventually catches sight of Tengen's movements in the moonlight. Tengen systematically continues taking down the trainees until the light reveals his position. When one trainee despairingly declares that it is impossible to face him, Tengen suddenly appears behind him, asking if he would say the same thing to a demon attempting to kill him. He then swiftly knocks the trainee unconscious. Tanjiro urgently warns the remaining trainees that Tengen will see through any half-hearted attack, advising them to group together and avoid leaving any openings. As the trainees gather around Tanjiro, Tengen attempts to attack again but is thwarted as Tanjiro blocks his swing. The force of their clash blows away the trainees, but Tanjiro remains steadfast. Tengen praises Tanjiro's intuition, remarking on his strength. He orders Tanjiro to attack him, leading to an intense fight between them. The trainees are astonished by Tanjiro's ability to clash with Tengen, while the latter is impressed by how much stronger Tanjiro has become. As the fight continues, Tengen swiftly turns to face the trainees as they approach, though their attacks prove ineffective. Nonetheless, they manage to encircle him, much to Tanjiro's gratitude. Tengen is amused by the trainees' efforts to reach him, and expresses his excitement for the battle, remarking that the fight has become intriguing. The trainees all converge on him, further intensifying the fight, while Tengen gracefully spins his bamboo blade, seemingly enjoying the challenge. After their intense training session, Tengen chastises the trainees for being defeated by someone retired, adding further insult as they remain silent in defense. A trainee finally speaks up, expressing that battling a former Hashira was too challenging. Tengen counters that he is not training them to scare them and is about to continue when another trainee boldly declares that they now have hope that the Hashiras and Tanjiro can defeat Muzan. More trainees echo this sentiment aloud, pledging to do their best to support them. Inspired by both Tengen and Tanjiro's guidance, the trainees commit to working harder and becoming stronger, leaving Tengen speechless. The following day, Tengen observes the trainees vigorously exercising with newfound fervor. Recognizing that Tanjiro has nothing left to learn, Tengen muses to himself that the trainees will grow in their own way, emphasizing the necessity of Tanjiro's departure to continue his journey. Following a brief goodbye, Tanjiro departs with his pack, expressing gratitude to Tengen and his wives. The former Hashira and his wives bid farewell to their friend, expressing optimism for a reunion in the future. Guided by his Kasagai crow, Tanjiro proceeds to the next training site. Upon entering the building, Tanjiro witnesses Muichiro facing off against a trainee, who implores him to cease the training session. Muichiro, however, replies coldly that the trainee will be killed if he fails to fight back. With effortless ease, Muichiro disarms and incapacitates the trainee, holding the wooden blade to his throat. He then asserts that the trainee would have died 3 times had the fight been real, highlighting the gap in their skill.